Your liver is working right now, filtering, processing, neutralizing. And if you had a cup of coffee this morning, something remarkable just happened inside that organ that most doctors never bother to explain. Here is the counterintuitive truth. Coffee, the drink your cardiologist once told you to cut back on, the drink blamed for anxiety and acid reflux and sleepless nights, is one of the most powerful liver protective substances you consume. A landmark study from the National Institutes of Health, tracking nearly 500,000 adults over a decade, found that people who drank coffee daily had significantly lower rates of liver cirrhosis, liver fibrosis, and hepatocellular carcinoma, which is the most common form of liver cancer. Not marginally lower, dramatically lower. In the next few minutes, I will break down exactly what coffee does to your liver at the biological level, which type of drinker benefits most, and what the science says about how much is protective versus how much becomes a problem. But first, if you are watching this channel for the first time and you care about understanding your body the way it actually works, not the way supplement companies want you to think it works, hit subscribe now. This channel exists to give you the real biology. No hype, no agenda. Now, your liver. Think of your liver as a city's water treatment plant. Everything that enters your bloodstream eventually passes through it. Alcohol, medications, processed fats, environmental toxins. Your liver breaks them down, neutralizes them, and sends the clean output back into circulation. But here is the When that treatment plant gets overwhelmed, when fat accumulates, when inflammation sets in, when scar tissue starts replacing healthy cells, the whole system begins to fail silently. You do not feel liver disease building, not for years, sometimes not for decades. And by the time symptoms appear, the damage is already significant. Coffee interrupts that process. At the molecular level, coffee contains over 1,000 bioactive compounds. The ones your liver responds to most powerfully are chlorogenic acids, diterpenes like cafestol and kahweol, and caffeine itself. These compounds do not just pass through. They trigger a cascade of biological responses that slow fibrosis, reduce inflammation, and actually alter how your liver genes express themselves. Your liver, in a very real sense, reads coffee as a signal to defend itself. The first thing coffee does is attack liver fat. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease now affects roughly 1 in 4 adults globally. It is the quiet epidemic. Fat accumulates in liver cells not just from alcohol, but from sugar, from refined carbohydrates, from sedentary living. And once that fat takes hold, it triggers oxidative stress, a process where unstable molecules called free radicals begin damaging liver tissue the way rust damages metal. Chlorogenic acids in coffee act as powerful antioxidants, neutralizing those free radicals before they can corrupt healthy hepatocytes. Research published in the journal Hepatology found that regular coffee drinkers had measurably lower levels of liver enzymes associated with inflammation and cell damage, specifically ALT and AST. Lower enzyme levels mean less cellular breakdown. It means your liver is winning the battle. But every strength has a shadow. Because here is the twisted irony of this protective mechanism. The antioxidant benefit is significantly weaker in people who load their coffee with sugar and ultra-processed creamers. You are asking one hand to build a wall, while the other hand tears it down. The chlorogenic acids are fighting oxidative stress, while the fructose corn syrup is creating it. Black coffee, or coffee with minimal additives, is where the real biological benefit lives. The second effect is on liver fibrosis, and this one is where the science becomes almost startling. Fibrosis is the process by which your liver replaces damaged cells with scar tissue. It is your body trying to patch a wound, except the patch itself is the problem. Enough scar tissue and you have cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is irreversible. Coffee compounds, particularly kahweol and cafestol, suppress the activation of hepatic stellate cells. These are the cells responsible for producing that scar tissue. A large meta-analysis reviewing data from hundreds of thousands of patients found that drinking 2 or more cups of coffee daily was associated with up to 40% lower risk of cirrhosis compared to non-drinkers. 40%. That is not a footnote. That is a clinical signal worth paying attention to. Here is the catch, though. Cafestol and kahweol are found in unfiltered coffee, French press, Turkish coffee, espresso. When you brew with a paper filter, you remove a significant portion of these diterpenes. Filtered drip coffee still provides chlorogenic acid benefits, but if liver protection is your priority, the occasional unfiltered brew is not your enemy. The third mechanism is cancer prevention, and the biology here operates through a completely different pathway. Hepatocellular carcinoma develops when liver cell DNA is damaged enough to trigger uncontrolled replication. Coffee appears to interfere with this process through 2 routes. First, it reduces inflammation by suppressing interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha, 2 inflammatory signaling molecules that create the chronic, low-grade fire in which cancer cells. Second, caffeine itself inhibits a protein called ATM kinase, which plays a role in DNA repair. When ATM kinase is modulated, cells with damaged DNA are less likely to survive long enough to become malignant. The World Health Organization removed coffee from its list of possible carcinogens in 2017 after reviewing the accumulated evidence. They found not only no cancer risk from coffee, but consistent protective associations across multiple cancer types, liver cancer chief among them. But before you refill your cup 3 more times, here is where the benefit curve bends. The research suggests that 2 to 4 cups daily sits in the sweet spot for liver protection. Beyond 4 cups, the benefits plateau, and the risks, particularly elevated cortisol, disrupted sleep architecture, and increased cardiovascular strain, begin to accumulate. Your liver might love coffee. Your adrenal glands have a different opinion. And chronically elevated cortisol promotes visceral fat accumulation, which circles back to stressing the liver you were trying to protect. The fourth dimension of this story is often missed entirely. Coffee alters your gut microbiome, and your gut and liver are in constant biochemical conversation through what researchers call the gut-liver axis. Coffee promotes the growth of beneficial bacterial strains like bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, while suppressing pathogenic bacteria that produce lipopolysaccharides, endotoxins that leak into the portal vein and drive liver inflammation directly. So your morning cup is not just feeding your liver, it is reshaping the microbial ecosystem that feeds your liver information all day long. So what do you actually do with this? Keep your coffee as clean as possible, black or with a small amount of real dairy or unsweetened plant milk. Avoid the flavored syrups. 2 to 4 cups across the morning and early afternoon is where the protective signal is strongest. Do not drink coffee on an empty stomach if you are prone to acid issues, because an irritated gut is a leakier gut, and a leakier gut means more inflammatory signals reaching your liver. Get your liver enzyme levels checked at your next physical, specifically ALT, AST, and GGT. If your numbers are elevated, that is the biology talking. Listen to it. And if you drink alcohol regularly, understand that coffee's protective effects are real, but they are not a license. You cannot outbrew a damaged liver. Here is the line worth writing down. Coffee does not fix bad habits, but in a body that is trying, it is one of the most underestimated biological allies you have ever held in a cup. Your lifestyle is the environment your liver lives in every single day. Coffee, consumed intelligently, tells that environment to stay resilient. That is not a miracle. That is just biology doing what biology does when you stop fighting it. Tell me in the comments, how many cups do you drink daily? And do you drink it black or loaded? Because the answer says more about your liver than you might think. And if this kind of real, no-nonsense breakdown of how your body actually works is what you want more of, subscribe. New videos every week. Your biology deserves better than guesswork. Every week. Your biology deserves better than guesswork.